Hello there, welcome to my channel. This is Laura Lee and I'm Rosie Posey Studio on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm glad to have you here today. I'm using loads of Vicki Boutin mixed media products today and making a bit of a junk journal, junk diary, mixed media, messy diary type of thing. Just some fun pages and no blank white pages here. So it's kind of a way to get started on journaling when you don't want just a plain old diary. So today I'm using the Vicki Boutin Pigment Powders. Those are the two little pink pots you can see. And I had the yellow one picked out, but I didn't end up using it. I just decided on pink and gold, sort of a fall color scheme. And the pigment powders are new, and they are powders. They have little shakers, and you can mix them with molding paste or gesso or with water. All kinds of things you can do with them. I'm keeping it pretty simple here today, and I'm going to mix them with Vicki Boutin molding paste and scrape them around. I'll also be using Vicki Boutin Gesso and the Vicki Boutin Gold Glaze and the neutral art crayons, which is what you can see me using right here. I'm using the gold art crayon, and you mix those with water and turn them into paint and then splatter and use them however you like. The tissue paper I just made was using the Wildflower and Honey stamp set, the super cute bee, and I just stamped it all over the tissue paper and let that dry, and I used archival ink just so it wouldn't smear when I added water and different things to the tissue paper. The tissue paper is fun to use with a gel medium and add to the pages, and just sort of an extra embellishment. So here you can see I mixed the light pink pigment powder with the molding paste, and now I am mixing up the darker pink, and I'm mixing it on a tag or on a separate piece of paper, and then I just use that left over in my journal, so it's a good way to spread the color around. And I noticed some of the powders, they're really packed when you get them, and they can be you have to work at it to shake it out, or some shake easier than others, so you'll just have to test each color. I know when I opened the purple one, it came out a lot quicker, so you just have to see how packed your powders are. And so the process I'm doing here is I've got just a bunch of junk paper. I've got an old envelope, some craft paper from a notebook, copy paper, book paper. I've got 2 cards from the Wildflower and Honey collection. Those are the cards with envelopes that you saw at the beginning. I've got some doilies and some tags and book pages from a novel book and dictionary pages. So just a little bit of all kinds of textures and different things. And it really looks quite messy, I'll give you that. And it's just, oh, there's a brown paper bag too, I forgot to mention that. But my process is really just not thinking at all, taking each of the mixed medias and scraping and splattering, and I work in a pile. And when you sort of keep the papers moving, they tend to dry pretty quickly, and some of them will stick together if you sort of miss one, but that's okay. You just move them around, and in between each of these steps I am drying the pile with my heat gun, and just not showing that here. I will show you later on how I dry the pile dry the pile all at once, and I've done that between each step so that they're nice and dry, and that the products aren't mixing, they're keeping nice and crisp. So really it's you know, when you have it in a pile, some scrapes off onto the other piece and you get really just random spots of color. There's really no thinking. I have found that, you know, I love these kinds of journals, and I've found that the less thinking, the more random, the more fun they turn out. So right now you can see that I've got a jar lid and some stain, and I'm just going through and adding marks and splats, and some of these splats I didn't plan for, but you know, it all turns out and works out in the end. So I'll just let you watch the rest of the process here and put on some music, and I'll join you for a flip through at the end. enjoyed watching the paint mess process. It was lots of fun. I added some masking tape, and the netting tape is called drywall tape. You can find that at a hardware store, and just lots of extras. And then I sorted them out and made them into signatures. So here we are with the final flip through, and I love how it turned out. I use these journals for diaries lots of times where I just write on the pages, and I'll add stamps and maybe some stickers. I like to add black and white stamped images to these journals just for the look of it that I like. And you can write over the paint quite easily with lots of pens and write around it, and you can just leave some of the pages blank. It's nice to have a few little envelopes to tuck in photos or, private letters, things like that. And I've added the tags, some string to the tags, and tucked them and clipped them here and there. So yes, it turned out really cool. I didn't show the process of making the cover. I hadn't decided what kind of cover I like, so I sort of made that in between. And I ended up making traveler's notebook style with elastics, and then the two signatures fit over the elastics, so I can take pages out and sew on them. And I added a couple of vellum butterflies and made some tags. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it.